I don't necessarily like combining a whole bunch of topics into one video for two teams, especially since they don't really seem to like each other. I mean, Canadiens fans and Canucks fans aren't necessarily the most civil bunch when it comes to interacting with each other online. But because they are my two favorite teams, and because it's already so late in the day, that's my fault, by the way, I apologize, let's combine a whole bunch of stories into one big smorgasbord of a video here. Because when it comes to two of my favorite teams, the Habs and the Canucks, there were a whole bunch of really positive news updates that, honestly, I don't know if we'd be able to make full-length videos about these by themselves, so just combining it, split it 4.5, I think that's the proper way to go about it here, especially since, again, these aren't necessarily like huge things, but let's go out there and talk about them either way. The Montreal Canadiens, we had ourselves a few announcements made. Firstly, earlier this morning, it was announced that the team has recalled Josh Waugh from the Laval Rocket, and this, of course, is a pretty interesting transaction. Josh Waugh had been tearing it up with the Laval Rocket in the AHL. There were some kind of processing issues and engagement issues that he had earlier on in the season with Montreal, which is why he got sent down in the first place, but he was a point-per-game dude with the Laval Rocket, so it's nice to see Kent Hughes rewarding him for his efforts with a cup of coffee at the NHL level. There also was news that Lucas Condona was sent down, so that seems to be the one-for-one swap here. Waugh is up, and Condona is down. I didn't think Condona was that bad, actually. I mean, he had that one really interesting game against the Columbus Blue Jackets, where he scored that really nice goal after getting fed in front by Yoel Armia. Yeah, Condona was not terrible. He was pretty okay, but definitely doesn't have the same ceiling longer term like a Josh Waugh does, so interesting to see that little transaction being made. You also had yourselves another piece of news with Montreal and Laval. Take a look at this. The Canadiens asked and received an extension for Raphael Harvey-Pinard with the Laval Rocket. He was sent down to the AHL for conditioning. The extension is not unlimited, though. It looks like he's getting 2 more games. So this is a pretty good thing. Raphael Harvey-Pinard was sent down, and of course it was on a conditioning basis. It's not like he's going to be there forever. But if the Canadiens decided, hey, he's not ready yet, he needs a little bit more time to marinate before we bring him up and play him in the NHL level, can we get an extension, please? And for the National Hockey League or for the AHL or the NHLPA or whomever it is to have granted the Canadiens that extension, it's a pretty good sign. Ultimately, anything the Canadiens can do to help out their guys in developing and getting back up to speed is pretty noteworthy, and I think it's good that Raphael Harvey-Pinard is being able to take things slower a little bit, instead of being rushed over into the NHL, and maybe he's not ready yet, and maybe he gets hurt, or something like that. But Raphael Harvey-Pinard is going to be sticking around in Laval for a little bit. Maybe he can work up some chemistry with Lucas Condona, who really knows. But speaking about Montreal Canadiens injury news, we had the biggest piece of news earlier this morning too. Patrik Laine was wearing a regular jersey this morning at practice. And that, of course, is a fantastic sign for a guy who had spent the majority of this year injured. He was out in Columbus, in Montreal. We were all excited to see him suit up in the preseason, and to be fair, he did look pretty good in those games until Cedric Paré did the thing, and then Patrik Laine was sidelined for a while. But with him wearing a regular jersey this morning at practice, it seems like he is getting a lot closer to coming back than we might have expected. Now, to be fair, Priyanka Emrith tweeted this out as well. Martin St. Louis says he doesn't think Patrik Laine will make his season Habs debut this week, assuming everything continues to go well. Playing next week is more likely the case. So we have ourselves a timeline revealed to us from Martin St. Louis about Patty Laine and what it is that he could look like heading into the next few days here. Not available this week, probably in some capacity, available next week. Montreal Canadiens fans, we just gotta wait and see what Patty Laine is going to be able to bring to this squad. 30 goals? Who really knows? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if that is even a possibility here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below if you're a Canadiens fan. How do you feel about all this Canadiens news? Josh Waugh is up there. Lucas Condona was down there. And then you also had yourselves Raphael Harvey-Pinard sticking around a little bit more down there. What are your opinions about all this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's switch gears over to the Vancouver side of things, because my Canucks fans have been salivating at this news from earlier this afternoon as well. Take a look at this. Rick Dhaliwal went out there and posted. The great Dan Murphy just texted me and said that Thatcher Demko looked good in practice today. He was on the ice the whole practice. Okay, there's one. One All-American American for the Vancouver Canucks that is looking good and actually suiting up for all the practices. Now, who knows what exactly that means for Thatcher the Snatcher and his projectability into the next few games here. He, of course, joined the team on the road trip, which is amazing, and to see him actually suit up and play in a practice capacity for a full length of time is a great step as well. There are opportunities here, I would say, for the Vancouver Canucks to squeak in a Thatcher Demko game here and there. They've got Boston tomorrow, they've got Pittsburgh the day after, and then they've got Buffalo in the noon game on Friday. I say noon because it's going to be noon here. But this road trip does go on for a while, so we'll see if Thatcher the Snatcher does get at least some action here. Canucks do have 3 goalies, so it's not like there's any dire need for it. If they wanted to be careful about it, they could say, okay, here, we'll give Lankinen the Buffalo Sabres game, for example. We'll give him a team that isn't great and have Demko as the backup, and then maybe in the third period with 10 minutes to go, if the game is already like 4-1 Vancouver or something, then we can toss Demko in and he can play the remaining 10. Obviously, that's a little disrespectful to the opponent, but you need to get your reps as you can, right? Who knows if Thatcher Demko is fully available for a start at this time in the road trip. But speaking about guys who actually do look like they're fully ready to go, we had ourselves Brock Boeser. Take a look at this tweet by Dan Murphy. Brock Boeser is in a normal jersey today at BU. It would appear he's ready to go versus Boston. And you can see in the video clip, Brock is skating down, he takes a shot. I think that's on Thatcher Demko too, so nice to see the Canucks American dudes coming in here. And then you also had yourselves this tweet made by Ian McIntyre. The Canucks will see how Brock Boeser feels tomorrow morning, but if there are no effects from today's full practice, he will play versus the Bruins. Brock also said he felt great today. Also told me that Tanner Jeannot apologized to him after the November 7th game in LA. And firstly, my immediate instinct upon reading this tweet, really? Oh yeah, he apologized. Wow. Apologized for literally coming in and running right into the guy's head. Amazing, Tanner Jeannot, amazing. Bravo, good kudo props to you, man. But either way, all snarky comments aside by Tanner Jeannot, he is looking good, Brock Boeser is. And if he'll play, you know he'll play. He'll play on crutches. Okay, maybe he won't do that. But if all the insiders are to be believed that he looked good in practice today, and Thatcher Demko also skated up there too, it's going to be great to see eventually these 2 All-American Vancouver Canucks make their way back over onto the team. We just got to wait for JT Miller, and then of course we got to wait for Quinn Hughes to re-enter the lineup after his game ejection in Ottawa on Saturday. So, lots to go on with the Vancouver Canucks here. This is why I wanted to combine these 2 teams' conversations into one video, because, like, we just spent 3-4 minutes talking about the Canucks stuff. I didn't want to stretch this out to 8 or 9 minutes in a video. Like, we could go out there and try to do that, but really, the updates here are just Demko and Boeser are looking good. So again, Canadiens fans, let me know your thoughts. If you're still here, by the way, let me know your thoughts about all the Canadiens news with Josh Waugh, Patty Laine, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, and Lucas Condotta. If you're a Canucks fan, what are your thoughts on Brock Boeser and Thatcher Demko looking good once again in practice? If the Vancouver Canucks are able to get these guys back, this team will be as deep as it has ever been. Sure, the defense still needs some work, but Thatcher the Snatcher with Kevin Lankinen as the backup, you don't even need Artur Shilovs anymore. Send that guy down to the AHL, let him cook. Let him cook now. Shout out to Vexbolts, by the way. I know that guy gets really pissy when people use his meme without actually talking about him. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you are a Canucks fan or a Montreal Canadiens fan. What are your thoughts about all these roster moves and updates with these players? Patty Laine is coming back. Brock Boeser's coming back. Thatcher Demko's coming back. Nice little injury circle here that is being fulfilled and rectified by these Canadian organizations. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British Astros 9. And bye.